All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Nicole, and welcome back to our English class. I am so excited to continue our journey into the world of, again, still in conversational English. In our last class, we focused on the very first step of any conversation, which is on small talk, and then under which we have different areas: small talk initiation, small talk initiation, maintaining or carrying, and small talk ending. And we started yesterday with small talk initiation. Okay? Now we learned how to break the ice yesterday. We learned how to ask simple questions and get the dialogue started. But what happens after you did that? Of course, there are still plenty of phrases that we can learn from small talk initiation. Okay, we are going to continue with that with other phrases that are not included yesterday in our class. Okay, so throughout this session, we will be so we will finish the different phrases that should be included when we talk about small talk initiation, and we will be having just a short and quick practice to check your understanding. Okay? All right. Let's start with our first phrase. Under this is under find something in common, find something in the surrounding, or find something in situation. The phrase is pretty nice day, huh? Now, the phrase, it is a simple phrase. It is simple, but we can say it's a powerful tool for starting conversations. It's a key phrase because it works in many situations and it is easy for anyone to understand and use. Now, this single phrase, it teaches us a lot about how to make a friendly connection, especially with someone we don't know. Now, it is a perfect example of using what is around you to build a bridge between two people. Okay? So, what does this phrase mean? What is the content that is being conveyed here? Okay? Now, when we say or when we use this phrase, pretty nice day, huh? At its core, this phrase is a simple, friendly observation about the weather, but it's much more than that. Okay? It's a way to say we are both here right now experiencing the same thing, and I am open to talking about it. You are trying to mean that. So it's not a question you would find on the test. It is a casual, gentle invitation to chat. So it's a signal that you are a friendly person and that you are okay with a short conversation. Okay? So that is what we mean with this phrase. Now, the phrase is, we consider it as a masterclass because it is built on a few important ideas that make any conversation easier. First is that, let me write it down for you so that you can really identify or like remember what are the things that I've been talking about here. First is that okay, I think you can just see if I use this kind of font, right? Okay, or font size, yeah. It uses shared reality. Now, when in this context, a pretty nice day, huh? Now, we can consider that this is using a shared reality. The weather is something that everyone on Earth is experiencing at the same time. No matter who you are or where you come from, you can see if the sun is out or if it is raining. Now, this makes the weather a universal topic. Okay? When you say pretty nice day, huh? You are talking about something you both have in common. Okay? Talking talking about something you both have in common. Okay, so that's we call universal topic. Okay, now you are not talking about something personal that the other person might not want to share. Of course, this creates an immediate shared reality without having to know anything about each other. Okay, are we clear on that? Let me just highlight this one for you. Yes, I guess the font size is too small. Let me, okay. I think this is good. You can read it. Okay, you can read it, right. It again, it uses shared reality, no? Another reason is that it is simple and easy to agree. Okay? It is simple and easy to agree. Now, the words themselves are very simple. Pretty nice day. That is a positive comment. Now, most people feel happy when the weather is good. Or so it's a very easy comment to agree with. So there is no chance of starting an argument or making the other person feel bad. So the phrase doesn't ask for a complicated answer. A simple yes, yeah, it is, or it sure is, something like that. That is all what we needed here. Okay? So this is a great example of people or for people who might be shy or who don't have a lot of time. Okay? That is how we can use this better. Okay, for a moment. All right, let me continue. Again, it is simple and easy to agree. That's why we use this. No, the words themselves are very simple. And let's just put here easy. It is easy to comment. Easy to comment. Okay? All right. Let's move on to third one. It is a question. Okay? It is a question, not just a statement. Statement. Okay. All right. So this is where the little word, this one, huh? Okay. This is where it comes in. If you just said "pretty nice day," it would just be a comment. The other person might just nod their head or not saying anything at all. The "huh" turns the comment into a question. So it's a soft, friendly way of asking, "Do you agree with me?" Okay. So it's not a strong question that demands an answer, but it gently invites one. It is a social tool that shows you want to hear from them too. Okay? So this is a question, not just a statement. This is shown especially by the use of the word huh. Okay? Which means do you agree with me? Okay? All right. Lastly is it sets a friendly tone. Okay? It sets a friendly tone. So the words you choose help to set the tone of a conversation. The word pretty in this phrase, it is a casual word. It makes the phrase sound friendly and relaxed, not formal or serious. So when you say it with a smile, it shows that you're a friendly person and they're not trying to be serious or formal. So this friendly tone makes the other person feel at ease and more likely to respond. No? It sets a friendly tone, which makes the phrase, it would help you, or it will help your the conversation be as relaxed as much as possible, as casual as much as possible. Not really too formal or not even formal at all. No, it's informal. So it makes the other person feel at ease. Okay? Makes the other person feel at ease. All right. So this is, or these are, the reasons why we use this particular phrase. It uses shared reality. It is simple and easy to agree with. It is a question, not just a statement, and it sets a friendly tone. Okay. Now the when it comes to using this particular phrase, and of course what to do next, the key is to remember that the phrase is just the first step. It opens the door, but you have to walk through it. No. An example conversation might be, you'll say like this for a moment. Okay. For a moment. You'll say, you'll say, of course, you'll start with this, pretty nice day, huh? So you say this with a smile, okay? And then the other person could respond to you by saying, yeah, it really is. It is great to see the sun after all the rain we have had earlier or yesterday. Okay, so what you do here is that you listen to the response and pick up on the word rain. I know, and then of course you will respond by saying, I know, right? I thought it would never stop. I'm hoping to go for a walk later. I'm hoping to go for a walk later. What about you? Now, in this example, you'll listen to their answer and use the word from their sentence, which is rain, to continue the conversation. Then you ask a simple question about what they might do. So this shows that you're listening and helps the conversation move forward naturally. Okay? All right, let's move on to the next phrase. Can you believe all this rain we're having, since we're talking already about raining? Now, this phrase, it works because it uses a shared, slightly bad situation to build a connection. Now, when the weather is very noticeable, like heavy rain, a strong storm, or extreme heat, it is something that affects everyone. So by commenting on it, you are showing that you are aware of this shared experience. So it's a great way to bond through a little bit of a little bit of, something that you both can relate to, which means um uh not just from good things. Okay, it means also you can connect over a shared problem. No, share your sentiments, share your issues as much as possible, but not, you do not force someone to share it. Okay, not especially those issues that are too personal to them. Okay. All right, let's try to break down this phrase. Can you believe all this raining? All right, let me put it here for a moment. So, can you believe all this raining? Let's start with the phrase, can you believe? All right, yeah, the part, can you believe? Okay, the font size is too small. Let me edit it for you to see clearly. All right, I think this is good. Can you believe? Now this is how we started the phrase. This is a very powerful way to start. It is not a real question that needs a long answer. It is really asking for agreement. It's like saying, this is a lot, isn't it? No? It is meaning this one. This is a lot, isn't it? So you are trying to make the other person agree or disagree to your question. No? It invites the other person to share their thoughts or feelings about your phrase or about what you have mentioned on the weather. So that is for the first part. Can you believe? No, you. This is not a real question. Again, everyone. This is just your way to start a conversation and to hook the other person, to hook the person you are trying to converse with. Okay, and then the other part, all this rain we're having. Okay, that's how we ended it. So this is the shared reality that I'm talking about. Shared reality. Again, what's a shared reality? You are talking about something you both have in common. Okay, a universal topic. What do you have both in common here? Can you believe all this rain running? I'm running. Can you believe all this rain we are having? Now everyone in the area is dealing with the same problem. Okay, the rain might be making it hard to get around, or it might just be a bit annoying. But by talking about it, you're creating a feeling of we are in this together. So this sense of let's say camaraderie, it's a very common way that people connect. Okay, all right. A sample conversation or dialogue might be just like earlier, it's very simple, just to show how these particular phrase can be used, especially in real life conversations. You'll say, of course, you will start with this phrase, can you believe all this rain we're having? And then the other person could respond, yes, or sure, or I know, right? My shoes are totally soaked. Then of course you try to comment on the shoes, because the other person, the one you're talking to, tries to make the conversation longer by saying something about himself or herself. Of course you'll try to react on that. You'll say maybe, oh no, I hope they dry quickly, something like that. Like, are you I hope they dry quickly, the shoes you're talking about. And then you can add another question to keep the conversation going, to continue the conversation. If you want to, you can ask something like, are you heading home, something like that. No, so by listening to the response, you can find a way to keep the conversation going. So this shows them you are paying attention and that you are genuinely interested in what they have to say. So the most important thing to remember here, everyone, is that you can start a friendly conversation by just noticing and by just commenting on what you and another person are experiencing together. So whether it's a great day or a really rainy one. Okay? All right. Next, we have here. Now, so far, again, we have talked about starting conversations by commenting on the weather, especially in a small talk initiation. We learned how to use a good day and bad day to start the chat. And this time, we are going to continue with our third phrase for the day. Looks like it's going to be fried rice for lunch. Now, don't be confused why these are the phrases that I've included. I made it specific as much as possible because even though it's specific, this is a particular phrase that can be used by many. Okay? Not that it is specific, but not too specific that only limited or only a few of people can use it. Okay? All right. So our phrase again is looks like it's going to be fried rice for lunch. Now this phrase, it works perfectly when you are in a shared space with someone, like a cafeteria, a break room at work, or even at a catered event. So it is a casual observation about a specific situation that you are both in. Okay? Now let's try to break down the phrase. Let me copy this one so that I don't have to adjust the font size for a moment. Okay, all good. So we will let's try to see why this phrase is good, especially when we talk about small talk initiation. A good phrase to start. Okay, the first part looks like. Now this part, it is a simple observation. A simple observation. No? It's a way of saying I see something and I am commenting on it. Something like that. You are not asking a personal question. You are just pointing out a shared detail. Okay? So this is a simple observation. Commenting on a shared detail. Okay? Next, we have fried rice for lunch. Okay, fried rice for lunch. For a moment, fried rice for lunch. Okay, all good. Now this is the second part. The second part here, fried rice for lunch, is the key. You are both seeing the same food in front of you. Food is a topic that almost everyone can talk about. So it's safe, it's fun, and it can lead to a good conversation if you're lucky enough. Okay? So it's about our shared experience. Again, about shared experience. No? Shared experience can be as simple as what you currently is, like you are looking at a food with the other person. That's why you try to start a conversation with regard to the food. Okay. All right. Aside from this, it's a simple observation. It's about a shared experience. It's also what we call, it's an open door. Now, what do we mean by an open door? This phrase doesn't demand a yes or no answer, meaning you are using an open-ended question. It invites the other person to share their opinion or their feeling about the food. Maybe they love fried rice, or maybe they were hoping something else. No? Either way, it gives. Oh no, for a moment. It gives the other person. It gives the other person a chance to respond. Okay? All right. Let's move on to the next phrase. Now, I'm not just gonna put it here. Let me just, for you to really be clear on this one, I'm just gonna put location. Okay? Yeah. Location. All right. Okay? Okay. Let's continue with this. Still with find something in common, find something in surrounding, find something in situation. You can say first time in, something like that. And then you provide a location. Just like what I mentioned earlier, it is in New York. So this phrase, it works perfectly when you are in a place where you think someone might be new. Okay, like a tourist, something like that. So it could be a new city, it could be a new conference, it could be even a new class. So it's a great way to start a chat, because if it shows that you are friendly and that you are observant and that you are open to helping or sharing your own experiences. Okay? All right. Let's look at the parts of this phrase, and of course try to see why this is good. Let me copy my the text box. Okay. All right. Our first part here is of course the first two phrases, two words. I'm sorry. First two words. First time. No, first three words. First time in. Okay. All right. First time in. So this is just a simple, direct question. It is not too personal for the other person, but it gives the other person a chance to share a little bit about themselves. It shows that you are curious and that you are paying attention to who is around you. Okay? All right. Simple, direct. Let me put a comma there. Simple, direct question. Okay? Next is the location. Okay, let's just say New York. Okay, just for you to be guided. Okay, you can of course adjust it accordingly, depending on where you are right now, or where you are when you are trying to talk to the other person using this phrase. Okay. Now, when it comes to the location, you can change the location to fit your situation. So it could be first time in this city, first time at this conference, first time in this class. The case to use it in a place where you suspect someone might be new. Okay? All right. That's location. Just like what I provided here as an example, New York. And lastly, first time in something like that, the phrase, there is, I don't know if you've noticed it, but there is this intent to help, right? Intent to help. When you ask this, you are also showing that you might have some helpful information. So if they say it's their first time, it could be a guide or just a friendly face. This intention of being helpful is a great way to build a connection. Okay? All right. That's the fourth phrase so far. Let's shall move on with the fifth one. The food here is really good, isn't it? Again, the food here is really good, isn't it? Alright, still under find something in common, surrounding, or situation. Okay? Now, when it comes to this one, to this phrase, this is, if I may say, this is perfect when you are sharing a meal or are in place that is known for its food. So it's a great way to start a chat because it is positive, it is easy to agree with, and it can lead to a fun discussion about what you both like to eat. Okay? That's why this is very important. So when we try to break down this phrase, let's say this one, the first part is the food here is really good. Okay, that's the first phrase. The food here is really good. So this is a positive comment. Okay, positive comment. When you say something good about a shared experience, you create a friendly feeling. It shows that you're enjoying the moment and that, of course, you are happy to be there. Okay, the food here is really good. And of course, it ended with a question, isn't it? Okay. I think we are all clear with that. But yeah. So this is the magic part. It turns your comment into a soft question. It is an invitation for the other person to agree with, especially agree with what you said, and of course to share their own thoughts too. So it is a very polite and gentle way to start a conversation. This phrase works because food is a topic that can bring people together. Talking about food is safe and fun. You're not asking about anything personal. You are just talking about something that you are both enjoying right now. Okay? For example, you can use this phrase in a lot of different places. The main is the idea is always the same, which is to comment on a shared meal or food experience. Of course, since we're talking about food here, a different scenario would be at a restaurant. If you are at the table next to someone, you could say, "The food here is really good, isn't it? I love their pasta," something like that. So this can lead a conversation about what you both ordered or what do you think of this of the restaurant. Okay, the food here is really good, isn't it? Okay, this is this is a good phrase to try to open a conversation to someone and try to guide them to respond to you. Okay, all right, for a moment. Yeah. Okay. The food here is really good, isn't it? Now let's move on to the next phrase of the day. Okay? Here we are already done with the umbrella term, not umbrella term, but like the head or subheading. Find something in common, or find something in surrounding, or find something in situation. What are those phrases that we've included here? These are just some of the many, many phrases that you can use, everyone. I just provided those phrases that might be too common to use, so that something that is familiar to you. Okay? Alright. Let's start with this one. Pretty nice day, huh? Can you believe all this raining we are having? Looks like it's going to be fried rice for lunch. And first time in, and then you provide your location, okay? If not, you can, of course, just tell me, just ask me. Okay? Alright. So those are our different phrases under small talk initiation, which has a different subheading here. Find something in common, surrounding, or situation. Next to that is asking for help or a question. Again, asking for help or a question. This is another way to start a light and easy conversation. You can ask for a small favor or a quick question. So this is a very natural way to interact. You especially if you kind of like genuinely need something. It can also lead to a bit more conversation afterwards. Of course, just remember to be polite and not to demanding everyone. Okay. All right. um the the phrase is excuse me, could you tell me. Now this phrase, it is a very effective way to start a conversation because it's polite and it puts the other person in a position to help you. So people generally like to be helpful, and by asking for a small favor, you give them a chance to feel good about helping, and you get a conversation started all at the same time. Okay? That is asking help or question. The phrase used is excuse me, could you tell me? Something like that. All right. Let's try to break down this phrase for a moment. Or let me just copy it. Okay. Still there. Okay. Let's look at the parts of this phrase to see why it's good. Of course, we started with the phrase excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. So this is a very important part. It's a polite way to get someone's attention. It shows that you respect them and that you are not just demanding for their time. Okay? All right. This is your way of asking for, how do you call that? Asking for using this particular phrase in anything that you do. Okay? All right. Excuse me. And of course, the other part is this one. Could you tell me? Which is here, this is hanging because of course we try to personalize it depending on what we needed. Okay? So this is a polite way to ask a question. It's softer than anything. And then there is tell me. Okay, tell me. This is, how do you call that? This phrasing, it makes your request seem more gentle and friendly, which is what is good, which is what we really needed. As much as possible, if we try to learn something, we try to make sure that we are comfortable learning it. Okay, because I believe it can retain more if I put something, or should you call that? You can retain more if you just try to initiate a small conversation. You can use this particular phrase. Okay, initiation. So this is done in, what you call that? This can be done where you are starting with a conversation. You're opening with something you wanted to talk to the other person, but like you try to make sure that your phrases that you are using are appropriate to the situation. Okay? All right. So for example, let's say, because one phrase can be used in different ways. Okay? Again, one phrase can be used in different ways. So take note of that. That is why it's very important that we understand what the phrase is so we can adjust accordingly. We can use it properly in different contexts. Okay? For example, let's just say different place to ask for a simple helpful information. You could say, excuse me, could you tell me what time it is? So to ask for the time, if you're in a park or on the street, you could say that. This is a very common and safe way to start a conversation. Okay. Next is to find a place. So if you are in a mall or large building, you could say, excuse me, could you tell me where the nearest exit is? Now that is another way to mean this particular phrase. Okay. All right. So how do you call that? This is how we show that you're new to the area, and that gives the other person a chance to help you. Okay? All right. And lastly, when you use this particular phrase, maybe to ask about something you see. If you are in a class or at an event, you could how do you call it? You could do this. This is a great way to start a conversation with a classmate, and maybe even more than that. Okay? All right. Okay, that's the how many phrases have we tackled already? First, pretty nice day, huh? Second, can you believe all this raining? Third, looks like it's going to be fried rice for lunch. Fourth, first time, and then you provided the location. And fifth, okay, it's not our students here are still doing their activities, and then let's try to wait for like a few seconds. Okay. Okay, so for this one, again, excuse me, could you tell me? And then let's move on to another question, another phrase that we can use when we try to ask for help or for a question, okay? All right. The phrase is I'm sorry to bother you. I was wondering. Now, this is a great phrase to use when you want to ask a question, but you are worried you might be interrupting someone. It shows that you are polite and that you are respectful of their time. So, it's a very humble and friendly way to start a conversation, everyone. Okay? Let's try to break down this phrase. Let's have the first one, of course. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sorry to bother you. This part is a polite apology. It's a way of saying I don't know. I don't. I know you might be busy, but I have a quick question, something like that. You try to mean that, okay? All right. It immediately makes the other person feel respected, and it makes them more likely to listen to you. Okay? I'm sorry to bother you. Then I was wondering. I was wondering. Yeah, that is the second part. I was wondering. This is a very soft way to ask a question. It is not as directed as can you tell me. It's a way of introducing your question in a gentle manner. It gives the other person a chance to say yes or no without feeling any pressure. Okay? All right. Now let's try to look into this phrase in a lot of different places, because again, these phrases might look specific to you, but a lot of people often use it. Okay? So the main idea is to use it when you feel like you might be interrupting someone who is busy or focused on something else. Okay? For example, in a library. Let's try to think about that. If you see someone who looks like they work here, you could say, I'm sorry to bother you. I was wondering if you knew where I could find a book on history. This is a polite way to get their attention without interrupting their work. Okay? All right. Now, at the store, aside from in the library, of course, we try to broaden out our context here. At a store, if you see someone who works at a store, you could say, I'm sorry to bother you. I was just wondering if you have this in a different size. Okay? This is a polite way to ask for help when they might be busy stocking them in a different size. Okay? All right. So that is a polite way to ask for help when they might be busy stocking shelves or helping other people. Okay? All good. Everything's good. So this is just a polite way to ask help when someone or when they might be busy stocking the shelves or helping other people. Okay? All right. This is for this particular slide. And the best part of this phrase is that it sets a very positive and friendly tone, which is what we needed here. After they respond, you can think of them and keep the conversation going. Okay? All right. Let's try to maybe reiterate the conversations that you have had. For example, of course, we're trying to ask for help here. That's the goal. so I can say, I'm sorry to bother you. I was wondering if you knew what time the conference comes or conference ends. Okay, and then no bother. You can tell them no bother at all. No bother at all. I attends at 5 p.m. Okay, and then of course you try to reply on that. Thank you so much. I was worried I was going to miss my last class. So did you enjoy the conference today? Okay, something like that. You commented on what was mentioned by your other but by your other recipient of information. You used your pencil, and then of course you try to include something, a material that can easily be covered. Okay. Our last two phrases have been both about asking for help or a question. Okay, are we all good? Okay. Sorry to bother you. I was with a continuation of her services, something like that. Okay. I'm sorry to bother you. I was wondering. Again, I'm sorry to bother you. I was wondering. What do you think? What do you think this particular phrase is showing? Sorry to bother you. I was wondering. So, it's a good practice that you try to be as polite as much as you can. One way to show that here is I'm sorry to bother you. You try to apologize for bothering the other person when you can just say, but you can just not say that. Okay. All right. So this phrase works well because it gives control to the other person. They can choose to help you or not. And either way, the interactions is still polite and respectful. Okay. All good. All right. Next to this is this phrase. Hi, could I ask you a quick question? Again, hi, could I ask you a quick question? All right. I think there is none of them. Okay. You'll see that along the way with our conversations, right? Okay. Okay. Hi, could I ask you a quick question? That is the phrase. Let me highlight this one. For a moment, everyone, because my screen is stuck. I cannot really, All right, all good. Thank you so much for being considerate, everyone. All right. In here, hi, could I ask you a quick question? Our last two phrases have been about asking for help or a question. Today we are going to use a similar idea but with a different style. We're going to ask for permission to ask a question. Okay? That is hi, could I ask you a question? All right? This is a great phrase to use because it shows respect for the other person's time by asking their permission first. Okay? Especially when we want to begin with. All right. This is how they usually is at 3 p.m. And of course, everybody is just not in the center usually. Okay. Hi, could I ask you a question? Now, hi, this is a simple and friendly greeting. It's a great way to start any conversation. And of course, hi sets a positive tone. Could I ask you a quick question? This part is key. You are not just asking. The could I think it's a boy. It's a male doing that thing. Okay, I don't want that. But anyway, that's how they try to really manages their craft, which is good already. A good thing. Okay. All right. Hi, could I ask you a quick question? So just like with other phrases, when it comes to connections, um, this phrase in a lot of different this can mean that this phrase is used in a lot of different situations or places. The main idea is to use it when you like want to ask a question but you are not sure if the other person has time to talk. Okay. For example, in a store, if you are looking for an item, You could go up to an employee and say, "Hi, could I ask you a quick question? Do you know where I can find the milk?" Something like that. You try to be more specific as much as possible. Of course, and when it comes to maintaining the conversation, you can just be with close proximity. In close proximity. Okay. Now, in all of these examples, you are showing that you respect the other person's time by asking for permission first. First is you dye it black, okay, dark one, and then blonde, and then a color. For now, it's how do you call it? It is far away from here, so I need to cross the highway, something like that. Okay. Hi, could I ask you a quick question? Next to this is asking for help or a question. Maybe for a moment because she cannot edit it. Everyone, if you try to buy something inside your phone, it's very much important you're aware of that. Okay? Your phone itself. Are we clear on that? Okay, so that's an example of in school at a store, like in a store. If you are looking for an item, you could go up to an employee and say, "Hi, could I ask you a quick question? Do you know where you live?" Something like that. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Okay. This is our third. Is it third phrase? So far, these are the phrases that we've included. First is pretty nice day, huh? Can you believe all this line we're having? Looks like it's going to be fried rice for lunch. First time in, and then you put the location, and then yes, something like that. So here you provided your name. Hi, could I ask you a quick question? Them, hi, could I ask you a quick question too? So it shows what is it. Okay, the lesson plan. Okay, so by saying here thank you and sharing a little bit more, you can keep the conversation going and flowing of the disaster, something like that. Let's just say disaster, I don't know, but yeah, this phrase is a great reminder that being polite and respectful is one of those easiest ways to acknowledge that. Okay, all right, and we shall we have the last phrase for the day. For a moment, in my end, it is showing the food here is really good, isn't it? Are we clear on that? Okay, I think all good. The food here is really good. Now, everyone, we've been practicing how to start a conversation with a new person. Now, let's practice starting a conversation with a real person. Okay? All right. Here is our scenario. You notice your colleague Mark is wearing a new watch that you like. This is a great situation because you can use a genuine compliment to start a conversation. So people love to hear good things about themselves, and a sincere compliment is a very powerful way to connect with someone, right? Okay. All right. So when it comes to this particular thing, there's a simple compliment. For example, here they might say might say, "Hey Mark, it's a pretty nice watch you got on." Okay, and then Mark, of course, will reply, "Oh, thank you, just got it off. I'm really happy with the L and N." Okay, lastly, it looks great on you. You're thinking of getting a new boyfriend or something like that. Okay, all right. So this is just a perfect way to let's say to start a conversation. Okay, if not, maybe try to think about something. Okay, all right. Now, before I proceed with the ending activity, I think this is the ending activity with praxis. Try to point out the things that I need to know. Okay, this is a perfect way to start. It's simple, it's friendly, it's complimenting about the things that I need to work on. Okay, all right. Okay, next to that is, hi, could I ask you a question? Okay, very simple greeting that requires only yes or no. Next to that is, hello, I'm new here and I just want to ask. Okay, no. Alright, that's good. That's a good practice, everyone. Now, lastly, we have, yeah, this is the last phrase of the day. Hello, I'm new here and I just wanted to ask. Again, hello, I'm new here and I just wanted to ask. Okay? Like there are so many things that I need to work on, I need to attend to, I need to have that particular signature for, and so on and so forth. Okay? All right. This is just a great this is a great situation because you can use a genuine compliment to start a conversation. People love to hear good things about themselves, and a sincere compliment is a very powerful way to connect with someone. Okay? Like for example, in this dialogue, let's just say, of course, you start by saying, "Hey Mark, that's a pretty nice watch you got on." And then of course Mark would can say that, "Oh, thanks, I just got it. I'm really happy with it." Something like that. And another person there, let's say, "Hey Mark, that's a pretty nice watch you got in." This is a simple compliment. A specific compliment is saying, Mark, is that a new Rolex? Looks really nice, no? A good, simple, specific Christmas gift is really nice. Okay? This is a great way to show that you are observant and that you know a little bit about what you are talking about. So the conversation can easily grow on me. Okay? All right. So the key is to taking away these ones, and then of course try to I will be trying to read them. Okay? All right. So this is a great way to show that you are interested and that you will know about a little bit about their social or something like that. Okay? All right. And I guess this is the last phrase for the day. Let's try to practice them. Okay? Time to practice. This is just a few. There are only three items in total. So it's time to practice. Are we clear on that? Again, this is a time to practice. I have all right. So for our final practice drill, we're going back to back, something like that. So the scenario is like that. Okay, this is a perfect situation because you are already concluded, and then shared two things. If we had, you know, do that, you are both waiting for the event and even the good weather resides. Okay, all right. So this is just a classic, specific example. You can always adjust it accordingly. Okay? Alright. Alright. Practice drill we have here. You are meeting at a cousin's friend named Sarah for the first time. What do you say? Hi, don't think we've met yet. We've met someone. Hi, you are meeting a cousin's friend named Sarah. I don't think we've, you know, in common. Alright. Okay? That is it. So you can also use, hey Mark, where's Mark? So the whole situation, the context is there, should be. It's like saying you are meeting a cousin's friend named Sarah for the first life. Okay? Alright. So we are going to tap on that now. Hi, I don't think we've met. My name is Sarah. Nice or pleasure to meet you. You try to go inside the class in this weather. All right. And then, so for this one, you are meeting a cousin's friend named Sarah for the first time. These are just sample two phrases that you can use for first, hi, I don't think we've met. My name is, or another, if not that, you say Sarah, nice to meet you. Pleasure to meet you, okay? Next practice drill. You notice your colleague Mark is wearing a new clothes that you watch live. Live is not. You notice your colleague's Mark is wearing a new watch that you like. You can say, "Hey Mark, you notice your colleague is Mark is wearing a new watch with that name." Okay. All right. So, what exactly we're going to talk about observations? You try to look at a different thing. Okay. All right. Okay, that's good. That's the last one. I wait. Yeah. No. This is the to the last one. Practice real. You notice your colleague Mark is wearing new watch that you like. What do you say? What can you say? Okay. So it is starting a conversation that is easy. But we say hi. We ask how are you and did you ever what did you do over the weekend? But what but have you ever been in a situation where the conversation suddenly stops and you don't know about what to next anymore? Okay? Okay? All right. That's a good practice already. Okay. Your response could be, hey Mark, that's a pretty nice what you got on. Hey Mark, is that new Rolex? Looks really nice. Okay, something like that. All right. And that ends our for a moment. That ends our how do you call that? Schedule, of course, because as much as possible we try to cater on them, okay? All right. So this is a wrap up, no, for the rejoinders, which is under small talk initiation. Again, um, for a moment, our chat here is that was a really nice presentation you did earlier. So it's a compliment. Okay, this is just a compliment. All right. That was a really nice presentation that you did earlier. That's already good. It's already maintaining a positive demeanor during that time. Okay? And you handled the situation very well. That's also a specific compliment. Okay? All right. I think that is the last one. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me today, especially in today's session. You might be wondering why I am so slow, where I am so indulgent in talking, because I try to practice my toddlers on that. Okay, so that they cannot be too dependent, because they try to eat it as fast as they can. Of course, they would know if it is new or not. Okay. All right. Lecture 4 and 2. I know, not 4, but lecture 2 or 3. Let me say 3. I think yes, it's 3. Okay. Um thank you all for your that's a wrap up, no, that's and our discussion here. Thank you all for your great participations today. I hope you'll start listening for us and using these next time. Okay, let's walk through into intro. Okay, all good. All right, that is example passer for entrance examination. Okay, or the blept. Okay, this is the last phrase they've had, and then of course a small conversation initiation. Okay, all right. Let's have small talk initiation 2, conversational English. Okay. This one also is good. As simple as this one, matching shirts is also good. Okay? Alright. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of the night ahead. Goodbye.